In this video, I'm going to go over how to remap buttons on your Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch console. Button remapping can be helpful for someone who might be able to more easily access one side of the controller than the other, or might need buttons moved around on their controller to more effectively play games. For example, for a one-handed gamer who might be able to only access the left side of the controller, they might not be able to access the A, B, X, and Y button on the opposite side if they're playing on Xbox. However, button remapping allows you to remap the A, B, X, and Y button to the D-pad, allowing them to access the D-pad button to use the A, B, X, and Y button in the game. Button remapping is available on all consoles, including Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch. And I'm going to go over in this video how to remap buttons on each of the respective consoles. To remap buttons on your Xbox controller, you must go to the Settings section or the Xbox Accessories app. To get there, go to Settings, go down to Accessibility, go over to Controller, and then click on Button Mapping. And here you're going to be able to remap the buttons on your controller. To remap the button, first you must select the button you want to remap. So you can use the drop-down menu, and you can select between the Share button, the A, B, X, and Y button, the right and left bumper, the stick clicks, and the D-pad as well. Let's say you want to remap the X, B, Y, and A buttons to the D-pad. You can remap the D-pad up to the Y button, and then you can remap D-pad down to the A button, D-pad right to the B button, and then D-pad left to the X button. This will allow someone who can maybe more easily access the left side of the controller be able to access the A, B, X, and Y buttons, which are used a little bit more frequently in the game. As you can see here, the buttons labeled on the screen show that the A, B, X, and Y button swapped with the A, B, X, and Y buttons on the controller. So now the D-pad is controlled by the A, B, X, and Y buttons on the controller, and the D-pad controls the A, B, X, and Y buttons in the game. You can also use this menu to swap the sticks. So if a person wants to use the left stick to control the right joystick in the game, they can check this and it will swap the joysticks. So the right joystick will control left joystick movement and the left joystick will control right joystick movement. You can also invert the joysticks, so that makes it so up is down and down is up. And you can also swap the triggers. The triggers can't be remapped to any button, but you can swap the triggers, so the left trigger is controlled by the right trigger, and the right trigger is controlled by the left trigger in the game. Therefore, you're able to really customize a controller setup in the Xbox Accessories app. Once you're done, you can click back, and it will save your remap settings on your controller. In order to remap the buttons on your PlayStation 5 console and controller, go to Settings, go to Accessibility, go down to Controllers, then go to Custom Button Assignments for DualSense Wireless Controller, and then turn on Enable Custom Button Assignments. Here you can also switch the left and right sticks, so the left stick will control the right stick in the game, and the right stick will control the left stick in the game as well. To customize the buttons, go to Customize Button Assignments, and here you can highlight the button you want to remap, and then you can select the button you'd like to remap it to. And as you can see here, when I remap the button, it'll swap with that button I remapped it to on the controller. So D-pad up controls triangle, and now the triangle button controls D-pad up. So I can do this for every single button I would like to remap. And once my button assignments are mapped, I can go to apply. And now my buttons are remapped to what I assigned them on the settings section of the PlayStation 5. To remap the buttons on your Nintendo Switch console, go to Settings, then go down to Accessibility, go over to Change Button Mapping, and here you can change the button mappings on either your Joy-Cons, or if you have a Pro controller connected, you can change the button mappings on that as well. You can choose which side of the Joy-Con you'd like to remap. So you select your Joy-Con side, then click Change, and here you can select the button you'd like to remap and remap those buttons on the controller. So if I wanted to remap the arrow buttons, I could remap them here. And I can change those button mappings. I can also go to Control Stick Settings, and here I can change the joysticks and swap them so the left joystick controls the right joystick and the right joystick controls the left joystick. You can also change the orientation or the direction the joystick movement controls the player in the game, and here you can swap it so it will change the direction of the joystick. Once you've changed your controls, you can click Save, and that will change the controls that you remap them to in the settings on the Nintendo Switch console.